basketball. It might be on your side chick's nightstand. It might be on the trigger of that gun you were holding. It might be at the tip end of that blunt. But your testimony is right there. All you've got to do is reach out to him because he's reaching to you. He wants to save you. He wants to heal you. He wants to bring you up out of that. Come on, somebody. He saved my life. Hallelujah. Somebody give God praise because he's a savior. He's a healer. He's a deliverer. He's everything that you need. All you've got to do is ask him for it. He's waiting on you. His arms are wide open. All you've got to do is come to him. Give God what you owe him. You owe him you. That he gave his life. I am forgiven because of Calvary. I will never be the same. Since curse is broken, it has no hold on me through the power in that name. I am forgiven because of this Calvary. I will never be the same. No, never be the same. Yes, it's broken through the power. I am forgiven because of Calvary. I will never be. You see, my Father, He changed me. I'll never be the same. Yes, it's broken. It will never have a hold on me again. It's power. It's pain. I am forgiven because of Calvary. I will never be the same. My Father showed me I'll never be the same. Yes, it's broken. No hold on me. We declare victory, victory over your life. Every now and then it's hard to see, but you got to decree and see victory. We declare victory. Victory over your life. Don't be dismayed. God knows your need.
make it so hard. Just trying to figure it out, fighting down, trying to believe God, trying to watch the words in my mouth and stay on the ride. Trouble come and go, even on the mountain high or the valley low. Never let your faith go. Never let your faith go. Yeah, I've been there before, so confused, don't know which way to go. Yeah, stressed out, world so crazy, might as well stay in the house. Fear trying to rise up, got terrorists disguised, they look like us, but we know who we trust. Trust when I say that we gon' be alright. Tell 'em, we gon' be alright. Tell 'em, we gon' be alright. Alright. Say we gon' be alright. Tell 'em, we gon' be alright. You say we gon' be alright. Tell 'em, alright. In these last days, evil times will come and it's here today. Look at all the hate, senseless crime and murder. Day, human trafficking, racism, police brutality, bullying, rape, child molestation, shady appearance of evil. Let your kingdom come, let your will be done in the earth. Let your glory rise, let your sun shine, let it burn through the dawn. Hey, even through the storm and the rain.
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry, Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Mother Georgia, she's back on live, the historic 980 WVDO. All of a sudden, let's go live to the studio with our host, Brenda Sutton.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey,
What's up?
what's up? What's up? What's up?
I got my Caucasian hairdo on. I'm trying to fix my glasses so I can.
Look, see, I don't even know how to do right.
You know what? I heard about you this weekend.
Oh my, what did you
I
hear about me?
I heard that you beat some faces for a wedding this weekend, and that what a beautiful job you did.
I did really. Wow,
I mean, it's
did.
all over. I mean, for real. They was like, "Oh my God, did you see her face? It was just beautiful." You didn't know I was
Oh,
going to do this,
goodness.
did you?
I did not. I did not
I'm
even know
surprised.
because I haven't posted anything at all about the wedding I did this weekend. I haven't posted not one picture.
Well, I want to tell you that, first of all, for you all that don't know, Emily is my makeup artist.
Oh,
She is
Jesus.
my personal, she does my face for me all the time. I just really, whenever I go out, I really appreciate it. She's the only one who know how to make the hoods on my eyes pop. A lot of people don't know how to do the hood on the eyes, but Emily does. So I appreciate that. But when I saw the pictures, and I've seen some of them, by the way, they are stunning.
Oh, well, thank you.
Did you do the entire wedding party and the mom and everybody, or?
I didn't. We split it up. It was myself and another makeup artist, Brandy Victoria. She's really, really good as well. And I think we may have had the same even amount of people, about 7 or 8 people apiece. So I knew the bride from my hairline days when I used to work at Hairline Salon years ago. And so I only knew her sister and her mom. And I knew
who are beautiful people.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And so yeah, and I had did the bride. I did her for the her what is it? Rehearsal dinner.
Mhm.
So I did her makeup for the rehearsal dinner. But yeah, so we tag team, and a lot of the ladies I had never met before because I didn't know, her entire bridal party. So yeah, I ended up doing the mother of the groom as well. So that was my first time meeting her. But yeah, I had to be there pretty early, and she had gotten her makeup done, by me before, but she didn't know that I, do this and I move really quickly. So she said, I think, do you want to be there at 7:00, like with the other makeup artist? And I said, oh no, I'll be there about 8:30 or 9. And she was like, are you going to be able to have 8 people done by 12:30?" I said, "Yeah, I haven't finished." She was like, "Well, I'm just really nervous, and and I said, "It's okay." I said, "This is what I do." I said, "I got you." And so I think she was definitely shocked. I actually got done with everybody. I decided to get there at 8, and I did 7 or 8 people, and I had them done by 12.
Well, hey Johnny, how you decided to pop in?
Well, I guess if that's what you call it, I've popped in. I'm down here in Savannah with my brother at Memorial Hospital. How are you ladies doing today?
Are
We're
you in the
doing good.
hospital room with Bruce?
I am.
Hey, Bruce.
Listen, man, when we walked into the hospital room today, Bruce had his gown off, and my, my cousin my cousin said, "Okay, Bruce, where's the money? Since you're in here stripping, I know there's some money somewhere." So the nurse came and said, "He keeps taking the gown off. I mean, he is, birthday suited down, boy."
Oh my
But
goodness.
he woke up for a minute. He's sort of heavily medicated, but he did wake up for a minute, and he gave our cousin, a compliment. I said, "Bruce, you see your cousin Bridget?" He said, "I thought that was Halle Berry." So he's got him sense of self, together. But he's going back to sleep again now.
Well, you know what, Johnny, we appreciate your dedication to coming on to the show. I mean, it takes a
Mhm.
lot to do that, and we just thank you. He says he's supposed to see the doctor today, so we're going
Okay.
to lift him up. We're going to lift your situation, ask all of our listeners to lift this situation up in prayer that God will intervene.
Absolutely.
And God will intervene, and God does, and this thing is already worked out.
Mhm.
Oh,
Hey
he's
Sheila,
definitely in charge. He's definitely in charge.
hey Sheila, and she said hello to Bruce.
All right. Thank you, Sheila.
You know what? Bruce gonna be getting all kind of look in the comment section. Y'all hit that share button. Be sure and
Shout out, Bruce.
do a shout out to Bruce. If y'all are out there in my listening audience, whatever, call in because Bruce can hear you. Do a shout out to him.
Yeah, yeah, you sure can.
And I want to say that Miss Faye is doing good. Faye Alexander is
Mhm.
doing
That's
good.
good. Good news. Good news.
She's doing better.
And how's he in?
Chai Henry walking around.
See, that's what I want to know, Emily.
Yeah.
Henry is doing. For those listening audience, Henry had a stroke, and he has a little weakness on the right side, but he didn't lose his voice or anything. The only
Oh,
thing
he didn't lose his
The
voice at
only
all.
thing that's wrong with him, and according to Andrea Cook, if you listening, I need you to comment in the comment section. I say his
Other than you, Brenda.
listen, Johnny, it's the funniest thing. His right is called the posterior right frontal lobe, which deals with our reasoning and like tech. Okay,
Mhm.
so like he don't have no, he don't have no filter anymore.
I love it.
Well, you said the same thing, yeah. Andrea was saying, she said, I love it for
Yeah,
him.
I
I'm
love
like,
it.
Henry has no filter. Okay.
Yeah, he oh my God. My son's girlfriend, we went to visit him when he was in the hospital on Thanksgiving Day,
Yeah.
and he asked my son's girlfriend, he said, "Hey, what did you cook?" And she said, "Well, I made brownies." He said, "That ain't And I thought that was the funniest, most hilarious. I was like, "Come on, hen." I said, Give a little credit." He said,
it
"Brownies ain't nothing. You ain't cooked nothing."
doesn't. And that's how Henry do it. You hear me, Johnny? But you know what though? He was up there jumping up and down this past Sunday. You know why, don't you?
Why is that? I think
Cause
Johnny may have froze on us a little bit.
yeah, Johnny man froze on. The Falcons won.
Oh,
The Falcons won, so he was like uber happy, that they had won. Yeah, I praise God is what I say. Is that yeah, it's a miracle. A lot of times when people have strokes and stuff like that, it is a very challenging experience to go through,
mm-hmm.
and it's challenging for the person who experienced a stroke and for family members who have seen their loved one um just totally in control of their of themselves physically, and then all of a sudden they're just not quite as in control as they were, it's really, really challenging for for him. So
And we got Henry. I mean, we got Johnny back.
hey, Johnny.
Brenda, earlier you were saying, the only thing wrong with Henry is, and I don't want people to, and I said,
No, what I
Brenda,
said the only thing wrong with him now is that he doesn't have a filter. He just say whatever he thinks.
no. This is what I wanted to say. The only thing wrong with Henry is he cannot enjoy the Atlanta Falcons football team winning a game without you interrupting the flow of victory.
Child, that Henry saw that game, he was just as happy as he could be. I was
That's
like,
right.
they ain't played nobody. The Jets wasn't nobody. It'd be different if they played a team, Emily, that was somebody. Somebody that are forced to be reckoned with. My grandson could beat the Jets.
The Jets beat Philadelphia this year.
Well, that saying like Philadelphia was they had a bad day.
But I'm just saying, the Jets beat Philadelphia this year, and the Falcons beat the Jets.
Well, that ain't saying too much right there. That ain't saying too much.
Well, I'm not a huge football fan.
Neither.
I'm just gonna say, go Cowboys.
Oh my God! But Texans got a good team. Houston's got a good team this year.
I heard, and like I said, I'm not a huge. I'm not gonna say I'm not a football fan. I'm just not. I don't watch it on a regular basis or anything like that.
But what about these young boys in the car?
Well, I was telling Emily and Johnny about this morning, and I get up like at 5:30, Emily. I get up and I have my coffee and stuff like that, and I turn the light on in the kitchen, and but I didn't see anything, and my neighbor sends me a text and said, look, sends me a text, and says, look, they broke into my husband's car. Okay. And by the way, and we have on your we have on tape where they tried to get in yours. So they had it on the video. They'll run around my car looking, trying to break in mine. Now, these were some young people. They looked to me like to be about 15 or so or something like that. And I'm like, why ain't y'all like get ready to go to school or something?
But this was early this morning.
Early this morning, 5:15.
See, this is happening all over the country where criminals, seasoned criminals, the way that they're combating going to jail and serving time is they're going out and convincing these young kids to do things, because the way the law is written, if you're under a certain age, you don't have to do jail time. So this is something that's going on all across the country, that these old seasoned criminals are avoiding jail time by catching these kids. And because sometimes when you'll see a kid and they're riding a bicycle, you go, why are they riding a bicycle out here? Or why they seem out of place? Because a lot of them are being couriers for drug dealers and things of that nature. So a lot of these things that are going on from our young kids are at the hand of some older people.
Johnny, I think the thing that bothered me the most is that, you done rolled up there.
Right.
Now, by the way, and the video got him with a gun.
What?
Yeah, they had a gun.
See, that's the other part. Now, imagine if they get caught with the gun. How are they going to be able to charge them? What's going to be the charge if they're underage?
And then, too, let me ask you this. And what got me was, so that what they did, we live in a cul-de-sac. So and this is what I understand they're doing, Emily. They really are. And they get in, they came into the driveway where we are. They drove around the cul-de-sac. And so the kids jumped out and they would go to the, like they went to Henry's car. Henry's car was locked. They jumped, then they ran across the street. They went and looked in their car, and they went through his car with nothing in it.
So they're just burglarizing. They're not stealing the cars. They're just trying to get whatever they can get.
Right, and they're also doing it in in apartment complexes as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing the same kind of thing. They're hitting those complexes and they're running through.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't understand is, and this is what they say, oh, no. Where are their parents?
Mm-hmm.
You mean to tell me you don't know at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning at least, that they out the house?
Right. Because that's what I'm thinking. If it was that early in the morning, the school buses don't run at least until 6 something. So, and then the closest school over there is West
West
Side.
Side.
So,
So I'm just saying that and by the way, the sad part is they on video.
Mm-hmm. Now, did they have on ski masks with their
They
face
had on
covered?
they had on hoodies.
Okay.
And so, my challenge was I started to write about it on Facebook because I was just so hot. Because I keep hearing people say, you know what, the community need to do something about all of this. Lester Miller need to do something about all of this.
The parents.
David Davis need to do something all about this. Anita Howard ain't pressing charges. The police pick them up. And when they pick them up, they don't do nothing. I'm like, what do y'all expect for them to do?
Mm-hmm.
What do you expect, Emily?
I mean,
you've got these kids. I'm like, they are out of control.
yeah.
And a lot of it is mama and daddy. Now, some of these, I'm gonna probably get some folk mad at me when I say
Uh-oh.
these mamas need to stop keeping these children, these young boys, from their daddy.
Very
Now, some of the daddies don't want nothing to do with the children. I got that. But I'm telling you, I see them all the time in the court system where these fathers want to have a relationship with the children, with their kids. They're paying child support. The mama won't let them come see them. The mama don't want them to have nothing to do with the children. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another thing that I started to hear lately. Discussions I just was privy to.
Right.
I've been hearing that mothers are easier on the sons than they are on the daughters.
This is what I hear too.
Hmm.
But you know what though? It just depends. I was rough, but I'm telling you, Johnny, going back to the situation we have going on in Macon with these carjacking rings they have.
Yeah.
Over there where Shannon lives, my friend Shannon lives, they have been breaking in cars, very upscale neighborhood. Okay. I mean, I'm talking about the apartment complex, and they are breaking in cars like you wouldn't believe.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, somebody's child is gonna die.
Sad.
Well, you know what Johnny said. I will agree to that. My son's girlfriend told me that she felt like I was harder on her than I was on Jimmy, and I said, well, I'm pretty hard on Jimmy. I mean, I'm really hard.
Yeah, I think so.
And I said,
because you want the best for Jimmy. You want the best for Jimmy.
I do, and I'm like, I don't let up at all on Jimmy, so I know I'm pretty hard on her. But I feel like, and this is just my opinion, I feel that as a Black female, the world views us differently.
Right.
And sometimes we have to carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. So I'm harder on her because I'm trying to prepare her for what will be expected of her as a Black female. And I want you to be tough. I want you to be prepared. I want you to, that generation, they're very whiny. They're, I want him to buy me a pocketbook. I want him to do this. I want him, they're very dependent, or they think that their status is or their worth is based off of what they can get a man to buy for them or what they can get a man to do for them. And I think I'm harder on her because I want her to be able to take care of herself. If she can't do anything else, you got to be able to take care of yourself. So, and then, going into the corporate world, because she'll be going into being a speech pathologist, which she'll be dealing with a lot of them. And you need to be tough. You need some tougher skin. So I think I will agree with you, Johnny. Like I said, I am pretty tough. I'm very tough on Jimmy, but I am harder on his girlfriend than I am on him, because I just feel like it's very difficult. I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way. It is very difficult for our Black men out here. Extremely difficult. But the weight of the world rests on the shoulders of Black females.
And by the way, it's so they can be strong. But no, Johnny, so they can be strong. Johnny, listen to me.
What?
I got it because at least now I'm just telling you, and I ain't being mean, but I didn't see any girls. Now, if they were girl looking like boys. You understand what I'm saying? Or carrying themselves
Well,
like
in this day and time, that could be very possible.
it could be. It could be. It could be very easy. But what I saw to me that just troubled me more than anything else is why you out there at 5:15 in the morning. Suppose I had gone out there with my gun.
Mhm.
I don't have one and put some bullets in you.
Mhm.
Your first thing your mama would have said, he was a good child.
Right.
He just had a little some, he had some problems. His daddy wasn't there.
But he ain't deserve to die.
You know,
He didn't, and then trying to press charges against you, ma'am. How come you didn't know that your son was out of your house and out of his bed at 5 o'clock in the morning?
how you not know? And the teacher probably, I'm willing to bet you the school system has already said, and I know that I fight about the school system, but I'm sure that he been cutting up for a long time. This right
You
here is
know,
just not started.
you know what they said. He just a little boy. He didn't know any better. He just got caught up with the wrong crowd. You know that's what they're saying.
Mhm.
And Johnny, and it's wrong. And I'm just, it just bothers me because you mean to tell me you can't leave your stuff outside in the yard?
Sad.
You ought to be able to leave your stuff and
Especially in your own front yard.
in your
Like,
own front yard. And then it's the thing, the social programs. Well, don't call them bad.
yeah.
Don't
Hey,
don't.
is it in China? Isn't it in China where if your child does some stuff, they send the parents to jail?
Let me tell you something.
It is. It's one. It may be China or Japan. One of them countries over there. Yeah. If the
I
yeah.
bet you they paying attention to what their children do.
What I was gonna say when my ex, because he was in the service, and this is real talk. Oh, we got a caller. Hello,
Oh,
caller.
sounds like they hung up.
Where they hung up. When my ex was in the service, what they did was if my ex was responsible for myself and the children.
Mhm.
So if we did anything, they would deal with him. And so he didn't want, he did everything he could to keep the family intact and would get mad at me if I didn't do anything, if I allowed the kids to do everything. So I personally think there need to be some responsibility with the parents
Mhm.
and the
Absolutely.
children. If your children keep getting in trouble, then I guess you say, well, I don't know if that's a good answer because if you lock the parents up, what you gonna do to the other children at the house? I don't want them
Mm.
at mine. Hello, caller.
Hey,
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. What's on your mind?
I've heard great advice from Brenda listening to this show, and I just needed some advice because I'm going through a divorce.
Okay.
Okay.
Um, so I'm going through a divorce, but my husband, he has been like really reckless, saying that he'll like kill me and things like that. And I want him to get his daughter, but he feels like I'm trying to keep her away from him. But he keeps threatening me, and I did make a police report about it. And but now he's just really trying to make it seem like I want him to be a deadbeat. Do you have any advice how I should go about that?
Okay. Let me go back. So let me see, Emily. Let me see, make sure that I got the story correct.
Mhm.
Um, you're
Wow.
divorced. You're divorced, right?
Yes, going through one.
You're going through a divorce. So the judge hadn't signed. Y'all don't have a parenting plan or anything like that.
No, not yet. He has to get served with his police papers.
Okay, he's got to get served. I got you. So no, nothing legal has occurred yet, and he's acting up, right?
Right.
Okay. I'm gonna preface this with I'm not an attorney, but I'm gonna give you some advice. He mad because he don't want to get a divorce. Ain't that right?
That's right.
He don't want a divorce, and so he's trying to make your life miserable because he don't want one, right?
That's right.
Okay, then you need to go on and file your papers, which you have already filed. If and you're right now you're trying to get him served. If you can't get him served, then you can serve him through publication. and just go through the court system and get you a parenting plan and go from there. Don't worry about. See, now you said something. Can I expound on this, Johnny and Emily?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
You said something really profound. He think I'm trying to make him a dead. Can't nobody make him a deadbeat daddy but him. And I said, you can tell him that Brenda Williams said that. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So you don't need to worry about making him a deadbeat daddy, because that comes from him not doing what it is he need to do. What I would suggest to you is that y'all sit down, and y'all got to talk at some point anyway, and create a parenting plan so that, you know, he have the child every 2 weeks and then you have the child. How old is the child?
She's 3.
She's 3. Oh, well, does she have a relationship with her daddy?
Oh, yeah, she's a daddy's girl. She's been asking about him every single day.
Okay, well then this is what I would do for him. I would do him every other week. I text it to him. Can we do every other week from 4 to 9 or however it is? Let him spend the night.
I think the issue is, and correct me if I'm wrong, dear, you said that he keeps threatening you. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah.
You're scared to let
Thursday.
And you said you're scared to let the daughter go with him because he keeps threatening you.
Right.
Okay. Well, thank you, Emily, for correcting me. If he's threatening you and things like that, then you need to call Safe House. Okay. And get a TPO. Anybody said anything to you about a TPO?
I tried to get one from them, and they told me that I would need a divorce. Like, I would need to have a date for our mediation. So she said she wouldn't be able to do anything for me. So I went to the sheriff's office, and I filed a protective order with them, did a police report. So they said to give it 3 days, and then the sheriff's office would have to serve him with that. But I called the Safe House, and she was adamant, saying that there's really nothing that she could do because she would have had to harm me, or we need a court date for our divorce.
I need you to call me offline, and I'm going to give you a number. No, Mr. Jackson, can you get her telephone number, and I will call you offline, and I'll help you with this situation. I'll help you take care of it. Has he threatened to hurt you?
Yes.
Oh, well then, go ahead and leave your number. Please do that so I can help you with some resources. I'll help you straighten that out.
Okay. Thank you.
I promise. Lord have mercy. You know what? That's my job. They making me do my job over here. I didn't want to get too deep because look at that, what I do every day.
Work it out.
When she said mediation, I said, she coming to my office.
Oh Lord. Well, be a blessing. Be a blessing.
But you know what? I'm gonna say this is off subject because I know we be jumping all around, but I am telling you, when people don't want to get a divorce, Emily, they cut up every time.
That's what I keep not see. That's what
it's cut up. You know, I can't stand her. But then
or him, I can't stand him. I can't stand her. It's it go both ways. They cuts up now.
And Janet, I'm talking about they cut a slam fool.
Oh, I've seen some of my constituents who be talking all that junk. But when that woman tried to get a divorce, all that tough talk, oh man, it just go crazy. Sitting outside the girl's job and all that kind of, I've seen it. I've seen it.
Crying like a baby.
Crying and going, I'm sorry, me, all that. But I'm just saying, but going to that job and sitting around waiting for them to come out, and then, you know, when the girl feels threatened, then he says, well, you know, I never harmed you. I mean, I just wanted to talk to you. Well, but you ain't got to go to that job and sit outside, and that looks bad.
You know what? Hi, we have a caller, Leon Jones.
Brenda.
Hey.
Brenda.
Yes, sir.
Brenda.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you gonna handle this for that young lady?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay, then, you know, I know you're busy, but you need to be very proactive in handling this situation with this young lady.
Okay. as soon as I get off the air, I am going to call her.
She said she's been threatened, right?
She has been threatened. You know I'm gonna make those phone calls.
Okay, you need to make those phone calls. And also, she needs documentation that she's been threatened. If she got a police report, make sure she keep a copy of the police report.
If you're listening, I need you to do everything that Leon Jones have asked you to do. Um, and let me give this number, my work number is 478-751-4137. Again, that number is 478-751-4137. That is the mediation office. And where you can leave a message so that, and then that way you can leave your name and your number and everything so I can get back with you. Again, that number is 478-751-4137. And that is,
Threats are not to be taken lightly.
Okay.
Domestic violence is very serious. You know that.
Oh yeah. I mean, for her to call and put it on the radio, that tells me that she's afraid.
Exactly. Okay,
And I'm
y'all good evening.
Okay, well, thank you, Leon.
All right, Leon.
Oh, I tell you, the only thing would be worse if one of the judges heard it and called me on the phone.
Oh, Lord,
and then I'm gonna have to get off the air. I'm gonna say, I'm sorry, Johnny and Emily, y'all gonna have to take it over because I got to go take care of this.
Well, this is God at work right now.
Yeah, I mean, Leon, I'm sure he sees this every day,
He
every
does.
other day, being the coroner. He sees, women, men as well, I'm sure, with domestic violence, being killed, being shot, choked, whatever. And the woman saying, or the parents saying, she called the police, he threatened her, he showed up at her job, he, blah, 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 and nobody would do anything. Or the one I hear the most is nobody believed her. They said that they had to have physical proof. And sometimes when a guy is threatening you, I mean, your first instinct is not, let me get out my thing and record. Your first instinct is, let me just get myself out of this situation. So a lot of times you don't have proof that, that the person has threatened you.
Hey, caller, how are you?
Yes, how you all doing today?
Good.
Yeah, I want to comment on the girl that says she being threatened.
Mm-hmm.
That protective order is not worth the paper it put on. She needs to get herself protected because when these people threaten you nowadays, you better don't take it lightly. I don't know whose daughter she is, but she needs to protect herself. Watch her move.
Well, I'm going to help her. If she will allow me, I will help her try to get into a shelter.
I sure hope she will.
I'll, because she doesn't need to be there, with him threatening her and carrying on. I'm glad that Emily stopped me because I didn't hear the part when she said that she was threatened and, she didn't deserve that.
Right. Yeah. And
you can tell she's afraid.
Yeah. I mean, if she's calling into the show, she definitely doesn't feel safe. So, I'm glad she felt good enough and confident enough to give us a call so we could try to do whatever we can, to help her out.
Well, Emily, we didn't have a show today, didn't it? The spirit intervened in that and said, look here, let me just take this a whole different direction.
That's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah. Y'all want to know this, what we're going to talk about domestic violence, because obviously y'all didn't forgot about domestic violence, but we can bring it to you front and center. Mm-hmm. And guess what, Miss Brenda, you're going to get off this phone as soon as this is over with, and you're going to call this lady and you're going to talk to her and you're going to help her out. So, mm-hmm. And then I get spanked by Leon too.
Right.
So, I think a lot of times, too much information on the air. I get, what, Sheila, I hear you. But when it comes to domestic violence, first of all, that number that I gave is a work number, I'm the director of mediation for the House of American Judicial Circuit, and she's welcome to call my phone number, the work number, and so that I can talk to her so that I can get information. I didn't, disclose her name. I didn't do anything like that. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to make sure that she had a number that she could call and say, I need help. Can you help me? and then I can refer her to the proper resources. And I think that's very important, that when you are going through an experience, you need to know that people care about you. Because some people, and I think you said it, Emily, some people say, oh, what can I do to help you? Anything I can do. And then when you say, okay, I need some help, then they don't
come through.
they don't really mean that.
Yeah, they're just saying it because it's the proper thing to say.
They says, and
so,
and I really do mean, I personally, if I know some woman out there is being beaten, and they come to me and they say, Miss Brenda, I need some help. Guess what I'm gonna do? Everything I can to help them. I'm gonna make that phone call, which is what I said. I would make that phone call. I never.
And I think for you, it's you've gone through that experience, so
Oh yeah.
It's a personal thing for you. Does that make sense?
I mean? Yeah. And then people that are going through divorces during the holidays, it's very, very difficult. You want to have your family together. I mean, it's this time of togetherness and love and all of that. And then y'all are fighting and bickering and carrying on, and then the child is in the middle. The child shouldn't even be in the middle. That's for one. I'm sorry, Sheila. Pray for us, okay?
What's going on with Sheila?
Sheila said it was too much information on the air. She was I guess about the DV piece, because I gave my work number, which is okay. I mean, that's the office number where they can call and leave a message.
Who is that? Sheila Worthy.
Yes.
Hey, Sheila need to mind her own business.
Sheila don't pay no attention to hear it. I mean, he's probably talking about me now.
Sheila need to mind her business. I'm just kidding with you, Sheila.
Now we crazy about Sheila, but I got
she's one of our she's like our number one listener.
You know what though? For Leon to call in, I think that might have been kind of traumatic. But Sheila, you have to understand, Leon sees the back end of it.
Yeah.
I mean, he see the end. In fact, and I don't really talk about it. There is a protocol that the state and that funnels down to our area when there is domestic violence in a domestic mediation. You can't even be a mediator, like a regular mediator, and mediate domestic violence kind of cases. You've got to have specialized domestic violence training in order to take and mediate a case that has domestic violence in it.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, I have all that training, so I'm just telling you that it's serious. The state take it. Every divorce case that goes through the court system, look here, and I'm just gonna say make them big, but I know all over the state of Georgia must go through a domestic violence screening. Every one of them.
Wow.
Now, whether or not people tell the truth on it, that's them, because it's self-disclosure. But every one of them have to be screened. Both sides. Because we have found, even when I was doing it, I found out that one side would lie and the other side wouldn't. So I started doing both sides.
Ooh, I wish I could read the comments, because Emily seems like she's reading something very interesting.
Okay, Anthony.
I'm gonna read it out loud. It says, okay, Sheila said something. Sheila said, don't give away too much, especially plans, in case the other party is listening. X safe house.
Okay.
Anthony says, yep. No threat should be taken lightly. I have family members who have been threatened and they continue to have a relationship with the person that threatened them. The family member always says they have not done anything in the past. The caller was smart to really reach out for help. Separate herself from the situation. Document everything she can. Use the law for protection and to be watchful for the child during all this.
Absolutely. And Sheila, the safe house, he don't know what a safe house is. And if he does know what a safe house is, I guarantee he won't go over there. And for those that talk junk about David Davis, I tell you what, you go over there to that safe house and see what they do for you. Those Macon thug police. Cause we got some thug police in Macon. They real thugs.
They won't. They don't play.
No, they don't play. They go over there and teach them a new one. And
They are truly here to protect and serve.
I'm trying to tell you, by the
And
way,
they don't play. And one thing about them, they don't play when it comes down to that them guys hitting on these women and all that. They don't like that.
oh no, they'll bust you up real bad, Emily. Quick, fast, in a hurry. And see, she was smart to put it out there. I don't know who she is, and I don't know anything about her, but that there are resources that are available for people who are going through domestic violence. And oh, by the way, and not all domestic violence is with women, the men on the women. Sometimes there is men being abused by women. Let me tell you how that works, Emily. Pretty much, let's say you got a guy like Johnny. I'm gonna just say Johnny's a good example of it. You were taught never to hit a woman. Okay. That's what your daddy taught you, never to do it. So she could fight you, but you would never do anything. Because that's how he was raised. So that is how, men get involved in domestic violence. And women used to throw things at them and hit them or stuff like that. But if you've got that guy who was raised not to put his hands on a woman, he'll just take it.
Wow.
I've seen it happen. Lots and lots of time. I know that situation personally. So yeah, that does happen. And no matter what that female did, he would never put his hands on him. So yeah.
And I knew when I was
Hey Steve.
When I used to work at a domestic violence shelter in Michigan, and this man used to beat on his wife. And so he became sick, and then he was blind, whatever his illness was. And so his wife, as punishment, in fact, we ended up putting him in a hotel, put tacks on the floor and took his shoes. So, it ain't funny.
I tried my best not to laugh at you.
I mean,
she put tacks on the floor, and she knew he was blind and took his shoes.
So a blind person was trying to be being physically abusive to somebody.
That's what she did to him. But because she was abusive to him. My point is, there's some mean women out there too. Okay, because none of this stuff it's just what I'm saying. And it's not funny at all. Domestic violence is never, ever, ever, ever funny. But
well, that was funny, Brenda. I'm sorry.
Well, I always find a joke. I'm just saying. But I'm really glad y'all kind of blew me away today. It lets me know that you listen to the show. It lets me know that you all listen to what we say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, for you to reach out for help, I'm ecstatic with that. And if she hasn't left her information there, then I will certainly call, I'll check with answering service. I'll be in the office tomorrow, and we'll find out, what's going on with her and see if we can help her out. I'm just, sometimes you can get people on the phone, Johnny, and then they don't know what they're doing. And I'm not saying that's all the time, but you got people who answer the phone who don't need to be answering the phone, giving out wrong information.
Yeah.
Now, how she was threatened, and then they're gonna say, "Well, you got to wait." Da 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 da. See, I don't. You got to wait until he do something else. See, I don't see. She said she talked to the sheriff, but she really could go down to Superior Court Clerk's office and file a TPO. Not a TPO, but what is that thing? A peace warrant? What is it when you can't come within 100 feet of somebody or something? What is that called?
That's a restraining order.
I don't know what it is.
I think that's what it is. I think that's what it is.
But obviously,
are you Dr. McGee? Look, guys, I've enjoyed today. I've got the doctor just walked in. Great stuff. Help that young lady. God is in charge of that.
And
And
God's in charge of your situation. Get out the phone so that this man can do his work. Peace out,
bye,
bro.
Bye.
bye. So I host a radio show on Monday.
There we go. So Anthony said it's a TRO.
Thanks,
Yeah, a
Anthony.
restraining order, temporary
Yeah.
restraining order.
And what we need to do is, perhaps, and like I said, Anthony, I just want you to know I'll be listening to what it is. I was just like, I want to make sure that that we give out, good information, and that we stay on topic. But God saw it, the Spirit saw it, where He took the topic and gave us what it said. You look here, y'all better be talking about domestic violence. You better be talking about these people who don't understand what no mean.
Right.
If you are getting out of relationship, no mean no.
Yeah.
When you done, you done. You can't make nobody be with you who don't want to be with you. They sick of it. They don't want any more of it. They just tired of it. Huh?
Sick of it.
They sick of it, Emily. You know how it go. When you get sick of somebody, you want them gone. When you finally make up your mind to say it's over with, it's quits, I'm finished, that's it.
Yeah.
And that's the way I felt. I put up with some things for 14 years. When I said it was over, it was over. It was done. I was finished. I didn't want no more. I was out. And it didn't matter what anybody said, did, or you really I don't need to do nothing. What I need to do is move on with my life.
Well, let's you know what, I'm glad we're talking about this. So let's explore this. What is actually considered a threat? Because to me, there's a lot of gray area there, and there's a lot of things where you may get in a heated argument and you may take something as a threat that's actually not deemed a threat from a legal standpoint. So what actually is a threat?
A threat to me, and my understanding of it is, if you make a comment that you're going to cause me bodily harm.
Okay.
It would, you couldn't just call me ugly or, some type of, but it would have to be, I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to cut, you threaten to do something to my dog or to my cat or, or to my, to it. So it doesn't, a threat to me doesn't have to even be a person. It can be, I'm going to take the child and I'm never going to return. And I bet you money that's what's wrong with her.
Okay, Anthony says right, and you also can force a person to be who you want them to be. When they show you who they are and have done your best, you have to know when to walk away.
You really do.
Yeah.
And you were just saying what a threat is. So it really is, that I'm going to cause you some type of harm.
Okay.
But now, because to me, like a verbal assault is like, I'm coming at you, you're ugly, you're fat, you're this, you're that, and even though that is abuse, that is not a threat.
So if someone says hypothetically, like, I'm gonna go upside your head, or like you're in a heated argument with somebody and you guys are just going back and forth, you're both throwing slander, and you both cursing, and you say, I'm gonna hit you upside the head with this lamp, or I'm gonna take this hammer and hit you upside your head, and he says, I'm gonna take the couch and push you, whatever.
Well, I got
Are
you.
those actually considered threats?
Yes, ma'am.
So both of you could possibly get in trouble.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's, I think, this may lend a lot to what the young lady was saying. It's like, when you actually go, you're saying that's a threat. But if you go to the authorities and say, hey, this is, he threatened to hit me with a hammer. And he says, well, she threatened to do such and such. And you go to the sheriff's office and they say, well, that's, ma'am, no, we not going.
A lot of times when you get hey, Reginald, a lot of times when you get like a TRO or a TPO, a lot of times they do it against both of you. So, I can't go within 100 feet of you. You can't go within 100 feet of me. So it usually goes both ways. So they handle that. But, there's something in law called clean hands. So when you do threaten, when you go in and you file these, file this paperwork, let's say I file this paperwork against you, but my hands are dirty. That doesn't look real good. It doesn't make me very credible. when I have to stand up and defend, he says, well, she did it to me. She said she was going to take and pour some hot water on me. All I told her, if you throw some hot water on me, I'm going to mess you up. Well, that is a back and forth.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think a lot of that happens. And then when either one of the people go and say, okay, I'm going to get you. And they do it knowing good and well that the person didn't mean like, I'm literally going to throw hot water on you. We was in an argument. We got to fighting. And I tell you what, I know how I'm going to get you. I'm going to go up here and file a restraining order. I'm going to file a TPO. And, and then it gets ugly like that. So I think that that's what happens a lot of times. And that's why when these girls and men go up, go down here to the sheriff's office and say, I want to file this and file that. And they say, well, no, you have to have proof. I've been in that situation before where I was told I had to have proof. You can't just get a temporary restraining order. And I think people need to know you cannot just get a restraining order or anything like that just because you said this person said this to me. You have to have proof that the person actually physically threatened you, verbally threatened you. You have to have proof. And I think what I was saying earlier is that that's hard to prove sometimes. It's hard to prove that this person threatened.
I think what they need to do is to call that crisis line number and get good information. Mr. Jackson, do you have time to look up the crisis line number and put it in the comment section for me? So that's what they need to do so that they can kind of go from there. But Emily, the thing about it is you can never take a threat and just say, oh, well, they really didn't mean it, because they really might. He says
a threat is not only physical, it can be emotional, sexual, financial, as well as physical. Threat of public shame on social media is a federal threat. Threat of ceasing all your finances is a legal threat. Hey, Miss Brenda Sutton and Emily. Hey, Michael.
Hey, Michael, how you doing? But you know what? You're absolutely correct. And a lot of times people don't look at those as being threats. But as far as the law, and I'm not like a lawyer, but when it's physical, that's when they can come in and do the TRO and that kind of thing. But if they're having the sexual, then that's something that I do believe there is a new law out, or it's I don't know how long it's been. Whereas if you take and you post filthy, let's say, and I don't do it, y'all. That ain't what I do. Okay.
Yeah.
But there are some people who may have taken, videos or pictures with their partner or something like that. And then when they break up with them, then that particular partner take and put those pictures out on social media. And, I've seen them do that.
Now that's, what is that called? Cause that's it's right on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it off the top of my head. But yeah, that happens a lot of times, and
that's why I tell people don't
cyberbullying.
That's what I'm saying. Like, don't be taking no pictures and stuff. You talking about, I'm gonna send a picture. I'm gonna send some type of suggestive picture or something to my boyfriend or something on a girlfriend. I don't do none of that kind of stuff.
I've said it 1,000 times, and we've said it on this show multiple times. I don't know how or why women continue to do that, thinking like, it's okay. We was in a committed relationship.
Yeah, okay.
And I've always said, if you're in a committed relationship, then why you need to send them pictures? Can't he just come home and see it?
That's right. And so,
I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
It's strange, but
absolutely. And it's very difficult. So I'm just simply saying that, during this holiday season, be very, very careful. That young lady right there needs to be very, very careful. It's 2 threats that she has to deal with. One, that he's going to kidnap her daughter and she'll never see him. He'll take his daughter, take that girl and go underground. Or he can do something to her. But now the crazy thing about that, if he does something to her, right, then he going to jail. Then you ain't going to see your daughter.
Right.
So that's that mentality. That's that stupid thinking.
Yeah, that what they stupid anyway. Okay, Steve said he's been married 41 years and I have never raised my hand toward my wife. That's wonderful. That's beautiful, Steve. And Mike said, is there such a thing as a safe house for men who suffer from an abusive relationship?
Yes, it is. And Michael, what it is that you still call that the domestic violence hotline is in the comment section. You can call them. When I worked for the domestic violence shelter in Mount Clemens, Michigan, what we did is we would put men up in a hotel because the safe house basically had a lot of women in it, and so we would pay their fees.
Mm-hmm.
And we dealt with things. Then we dealt with the police and things like that who offered them protection and things that way. So typically there's not enough men who are willing to tell. Now, it's not the fact that men are not being abused. It's the fact that they won't tell that they're being abused, too ashamed of saying that they have been by a woman, and therefore don't receive services.
Well, so the answer is yes, Michael. They do
Right.
have safe houses for men.
And and if all I can say is that people know how to reach out to me. I will definitely put on our All of a Sudden Facebook page, how they can get in contact with the domestic violence shelter and things like that. I have seen a whole lot in my years of working in that courthouse with I have seen it all. And that's why I knew then when I talked to her, I said, oh, he don't want a divorce. And no doubt, typically what happens with that, and it has been my experience, it's just mine, it's just my own, just mother wit looking. The ones who scream and holler about they don't want a divorce and are the ones who done did so much dirt. Woo.
That's generally how it goes, of course.
They have done so much. They have done so much and thought they had gotten away with it. Then when she finally says, or he said, look, I've had enough. I'm done. I'm out of here. They can't believe that they're leaving. They said, why would you go?
Yeah. Or my favorite is, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it was that bad.
It wasn't that bad. And I'm like, yeah, it wasn't that bad to you. Like, what in the world?
But they do say that. So there's, it's a pattern when they're like, well, like you said, well, it wasn't that bad. Look at you stayed all that time and you didn't go. I'm like,
exactly.
That's because I was
story of my life.
So you're like, you're kidding me. So it just I don't understand it. And all of a sudden now you just like you in love and I just don't want you to go. And a lot, they losing power, and some of them losing their house too. See, a lot of times I have seen this. You didn't forgot who paid the bills. You were crazy. You forgot. I'm the one that working. You the one who ain't really working. And you gonna act a fool? You ought to be. And I've never thrown up to you about what it is that you do or don't do. How can you say it? I'm trying to tell you. So all I'm saying is, they're losing power, and it's all about power and control. Or worse, they say that they have given up their life just to put up with you. You the problem.
As if you're the problem.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You Emily, it's your fault.
Right. Oh, always my fault. Everything is always my fault.
Yeah, you did it.
Yeah, you made me do it.
Emily, how you say it?
You made me do it. And I said, anytime, that as I've gotten older rather, that is a pet peeve of mine. And I said, I work it out, through counseling and whatnot, but it really gets under my blood when somebody says, you made me do it. No, you are responsible for your own actions. You're responsible in how you react in situations. I can't make you do anything.
Yeah, there's you did it. And you made me hit you.
Yeah. It was your fault if you didn't, if you wouldn't have done this, or if you wouldn't have, blah, blah, blah. So that's the number one thing they say, you made me do it.
You made me do it. Yeah, I made you take and put your hand up against my face. Or stump me in my chest. I made you do that now. I made you pick up your shoe.
I ran into your fist.
I ran into your fist. Yeah. I don't know how you hit me in the eye.
Right.
But I made you do all that stuff. I am really I'm feeling some kind of way today because typically, we'll have a thing, but I've never had it where where the show took a life of its own.
Well, we done had it a few times. We done had our show take a left turn, but this one took a left turn and then an about turn and then went up the mountain and came back down.
Yeah,
So it's in a good way though.
in a good way.
So if we can help one person, every show, if we can help one person, then I think we're doing our jobs here.
Yeah. And let's just keep families in prayer, Emily. It's just families, period. They're having such a hard time.
Yeah, things are definitely the laws are changing. Things are getting harder for people to do to maneuver around, and a lot of times these laws that are changing are not in our favor. So we just have to be diligent and try to be as smart as we can and surround ourselves with people that love us and care for us and that will tell you the truth. You don't want to surround yourself with a bunch of yes men. You want to surround yourself with people
Right,
that love
right.
you but will keep you grounded and tell you the truth. All right, guys, we love
Peace
you.
out.
We will talk to you guys
Be
soon.
safe.
We'll see you next Monday, same time. All of a sudden.
You've been listening to All of a Sudden. Join them every Monday evening from 5:30 to 6:30. All of a Sudden with your host, Brenda Sutton. That's every Monday. We'll see you there.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.